students, in this video we are going to discuss some fundamental concepts of CPU scheduling algorithm. These fundamental concepts we require to know before discussing different CPU scheduling algorithm in detail. CPU scheduling is the basis of multi-programmed operating system. The objective of multiprogramming is to have some process running at all times in order to maximize CPU utilization. In a simple computer system, what happens actually when a process gets allocated into the CPU and after some time of execution, when it goes for some I/O, when it is in requirement of some I/O, and it enters into the I/O cycle and waits for the completion of its I/O, that for that duration of time the CPU becomes idle. To utilize that idle CPU time, some other process from ready queue gets selected to be executed inside the CPU. In a multiprogramming system, several processes are kept in memory at one time, and the process is executed until it must wait for some I/O request. At that time, CPU becomes idle and operating system allocate another process to CPU. This pattern continues. Scheduling is a fundamental concept of operating system. All computer resources are scheduled before their use. The selection of process for transferring it from ready queue to CPU is carried out by CPU scheduler or short-term scheduler. Dispatcher is an important component involved in CPU scheduling. It is a software module which gets invoked during process switch, that is, deallocating a process which is currently executing inside the CPU and allocating a new process from the ready queue to CPU. This module is responsible for context switch. The time it takes to stop one process and to start another process running is known as dispatch latency. Some scheduling criteria have been suggested for comparing CPU scheduling algorithms. The criteria used for comparison can make a substantial difference in the determination of the best algorithm. The criteria include the following: CPU utilization, throughput, turnaround time, waiting time, and response time. The first CPU scheduling criteria affirms that CPU should be kept as busy as possible. The second criteria, throughput, defines as the number of processes completed per unit time. Turnaround time indicates the time interval between the submission of the process to the system and its completion. Waiting time is the sum of the period spent by a particular process inside the ready queue. Often, a process can produce some output fairly early and continue its execution when it is computing the new results, while the previous results are output to the user. So, the response time is defined as the interval between the submission of the process to the system and its first output generation to the user. The objective of CPU scheduling criteria is to maximize two CPU scheduling criteria, CPU utilization and throughput, and to minimize three CPU scheduling criteria, turnaround time, waiting time, and response time. CPU scheduling algorithms are either preemptive or non-preemptive. In non-preemptive category, once a process is allocated to the CPU, the process keeps the CPU busy until it releases the CPU either by terminating itself or by switching to the waiting state. Otherwise, the scheme is called preemptive scheme. In preemptive scheme, depending upon some predefined criteria, less suitable process execution inside the CPU is preempted or stopped and replaced by some more suitable process execution. However, preemptive scheduling incurs a cost. Now regarding different CPU scheduling algorithms. FCFS, that is first come first served algorithm, which is inherently non-preemptive as part of its implementation criteria. SJF, that is shortest job first algorithm, then RR, that is round robin algorithm. Round robin algorithm is inherently preemptive as part of its implementation principle. Priority scheduling is another CPU scheduling algorithm. Both SJF algorithm and priority algorithm have two variations. One is non-preemptive version, another one is preemptive version. Besides all these algorithms, some other CPU scheduling algorithms are there, such as multiple queue scheduling algorithm, multiple feedback queue scheduling algorithm, multiple processor scheduling algorithm, etc. We will discuss these different types of scheduling algorithms in our next video. This is the reference book which I have used during my session, Operating System Concept, authored by Silversadge, Galvin and Gagne from Wiley Publication. Please subscribe the channel. Thank you for watching.